Hello everybody, Andy here again. And recently I've started doing quite a lot of blogging. I set up a blogging account over at Blogger, and I put a link to it over there actually, about 6 months ago. Something that I started to do a couple of 3 years ago, but never really got into, stopped doing it and started doing this really, I suppose, and got into doing this. And then a few months ago I thought, oh right, I'll just revisit it. I can't remember why. I think someone might have suggested it to me. I really can't remember what that sort of spark was. And I did leave it for a while, and then I started doing it literally a few weeks ago. And I've really got into it recently, and I've posted quite a lot of posts, and I've been doing sort of sometimes sort of one a day. But as is usual with that type of thing, I find it very hard to edit myself. The idea, I think, well, because there is an idea, it's a bit like vlogging, I suppose, is that you do whatever you want to do. I did actually do a blog about that particular point. You know, what are the sort of etiquette, are the sort of conventions around blogging, and a couple of people answered and gave me some sort of tips. But as I said, I suspect it's a bit like this really. You do what you want to do, you find what you're good at, your little niche. You do longer videos. Some people edit them and they make them shorter and more concise and to the point, and short and snappy. That's absolutely fine. That's not my style, and that's the way it's turned out with the blogging as well. You get an idea, start to do it. You just may have formulated it in your head or something, or sometimes you just get that burst of inspiration. Start writing it, and as happens with these videos, is that things start to come into your head and you start writing other things down, and before you know it, you've got a big long stream over 500 or so words, and the other ideas are developing within you, and you're thinking, really, well, this is a bit too long, and you have to edit it, etc. You know, sort of change the, make sure it's written a bit better. That's one thing with vlogging. You don't have to worry quite so much about grammar, punctuation, that type of thing, especially if you're like me and you like to do the unedited stuff, and people tend to like that. But blogging's slightly different, I think, and I've enjoyed it, and it's improved my writing. Not that I consider myself a writer or really thought about it. I've done little bits for reviews and things like that for local papers, etc. in the past. But this, I'm getting into it, and it shows a different side. One of the things I like to do there is to put ideas and thoughts, etc. up, which are different to what I do here on YouTube. As I said, I've been putting up sometimes, not every day, but sometimes it's like a daily vlog or something about completely different subjects right across the board, my sort of wide range of interests. A lot of things that I'm not really bothered about putting up here on YouTube, maybe a bit more personal, I don't know really, or things that wouldn't appeal to maybe a worldwide audience. Not that you should really care about that, I know, but I am conscious of the fact of putting up videos every day or about certain topics don't get the views, don't get the attention. So I think, well, it's not really worth it here. I'll just sort of put different ones up here and use that as an alternative, and that's the good thing about it, is an alternative. But the reason I was sort of talking here about the editing process is that I had an email the other day. Now, and I know for a fact that I'm not the only person to have received this type of email. I'm not suggesting that they pick me up, oh, there's Andy, oh, he's good at this type of thing. But I got an invitation, won't mention the company, to actually start doing blogs by like an invite type thing, and they'd actually pay you to do them, or you get money because of keywords that you used, etc., through the advertising or whatever that you gain. The company themselves deal with different companies, presumably worldwide. I've done a little bit of research, but I haven't signed up for it as yet. And they get ideas from people, and you talk about specific products, and you use certain keywords in the title of the video, or sorry, the blog that you do, or you mention the product or whatever it is. I'm not really sure exactly what you're going to get, if you see what subject matter you're going to get, and you have to mention obviously that particular topic within the blog. Now, you don't have to agree with it, so in some ways it's not knowing what the products or whatever the services are that you're going to be talking about, but you don't have to be complimentary, which is one good thing. But as they say in there, the blogs have to be 250 words or less. Now, it's the old thing here with YouTube, and people saying, you know, the 3-minute time span or a 5-minute limit for people to watch a video, and even to watch a vlog, although they tend to go on longer, people still have that sort of 5-minute cut-off point. And I've had a couple of comments recently from people, videos, because I have some of the videos, I'm conscious that some of the videos I've put up recently, and this may well join them, have gone well over the 10-minute mark now that I have that option to do that, and I just let my thoughts run free and the mouse keep going, etc. And without knowing it, suddenly you're up to 13 or 14 minutes. That's become a sort of a natural length now, whereas before I used to be able to stop myself and gauge pretty well where that old 10-minute limit is. Now I don't have to think about it. And people have commented, oh, I wasn't really necessarily going to watch the whole video. They usually have, and that's great. I've obviously got their attention in that respect. And I totally understand that. I do respect people's views, and that's another reason why I'm conscious about putting quite so many videos out there. I know what it's like. I'm like it myself. People that even my favourite YouTubers that are out there, if they make too many videos, I don't watch them all because there's too much going on. And if I put a video up there, I like it to be watched, so that's why I tend to space them out. There are times, obviously, when I just think I've got to say this. You know, one being the other day, which turned out to be 14 minutes. Bang! I just did it. But I just wanted to know what other people's opinions were about this blogging for cash for questions, as we would say with MPs over here, type of thing, blogging for cash. Now, I'm thinking about it. There's no obligation. You just get a subject matter apparently that's emailed to you. Are you interested in talking about this particular subject? As I said, don't know what the products are, or etc, etc. And if you agree to it, you agree to it, and then you have 24 hours to actually post your blog up there. But obviously, you're not allowed to say that you're getting paid for it. You're not allowed to say that this is a sponsored blog, should we say, that type of thing. Now, we all see people on YouTube who do that, and as long as you're open and honest about it, that's not an issue, I don't think. And that's my only concern about it, really, is the fact that it sounds interesting. Yes, we could all do with a lot more, a bit of money, and to be asked to do it, you think, well, hang on, this isn't a bad idea. You know, why not, I suppose. If you're watching this and you see that does tend to happen, I'm not going to do it just yet. I'm going to wait and see what people say. Actually, I'd be interested to know what people's ideas are. I shall make the decision, obviously, but I'd like to know what other people feel about that. And you'll know if you look at the blogs that the short ones, the 250 word ones, or the very short ones that are on there, will probably be pretty obviously the ones that you're getting paid for. But you never know. I mean, as I said, I have a wide range of interests. This is, whatever you get might actually interest you. You might open your eyes, and that's the other point. So I'm a bit wary about the sort of money side of it and accepting money. I mean, I don't expect it's going to amount to a lot of money, but you never know where these things might lead, do you? That's the idea. You put the keywords in there, the tags, and then you might get more traffic to your site. You never know. It might open your eyes to new things, to new avenues that you become interested in. So why close yourself off to that, especially if you can get a little bit of money out of it? And as I said before, we all need that. So I'm debating it. I'm thinking about it. I'm erring on the side of going for it at the moment, I'll be perfectly honest. But then there is always that, as I said, that opt-out clause there, that if I don't like what I'm being asked to do, I just don't do it. And that's the good thing. You're not committed to doing it. If you don't like what they ask you, you just don't do it. So that seems like the best of both worlds in some ways, but I don't like that slight deception about it, really. But now I'm going to try and write some blogs over there, maybe that are shorter than normal, and maybe try and make these concise. But I like to let my thoughts run free, even in a blog, as I do in a blog, as I've done here. So I'd love to know what your thoughts are on there. Please check out the blog. I'd be interested to know what other people think, because it shows maybe a slightly different side. There is a crossover, because I do sometimes do a blog over there and then I end up talking about it over here. And I do talk about YouTube and that type of things. I think I mentioned it in the video I did recently, where I'd done a blog called Upgrades, because I didn't want to keep going on and on and on about YouTube, etc. here. But over there, it's a slightly different issue. But then something else happens, and there might be that crossover, there might be that sort of duplication that comes in. But it's a different site, and hey, who cares? It's my site. I do what I want within reason. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I'd love to know your comments. As I said, your thoughts on this. Maybe you've been asked. As I said, I doubt very much if I'm the only person who's been asked to do this. They haven't just picked on me because I think I'm good. They've seen my blog because of a certain reason or something. I did one for a climate change event the other day, so maybe they picked it up through there, and then you get this email, oh, we picked you out. Yeah, I don't believe that. Maybe I'm being too cynical. I don't know. Anyway, thanks for your time. I'll speak to you again soon. Goodbye.